Hi guys, welcome back. In today's session, we will be seeing a little more about Maharishi Mayan from Kumari Kandam, Lemuria. We will also be seeing about the Mayan people in Central America and what is the connection between them, between Mayan and the people, the Mayans in Central America. The first point is, where all have we seen Mayan? Mayan is there in the Ramayana. He is father-in-law to King Ravana. He marries Mandodari, right? We've seen him in the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, Mayan was the one who built the city of Indraprastha for the Pandavas with the magical palace for Draupadi. Mayan is also mentioned in Manimekalai, which is a sequel to Silappatikaram. In Manimekalai, there is a temple of gods known as Chakravala Kotam. That is a maze, a building which is like a maze, and that was built by Mayan. We see that. We have also seen that Surya Siddhanta was authored by Mayan. I'll make a small note here. When you research, you'll also see that Surya Siddhanta was given to Mayan by the sun god. Remember this, we'll come back to this later. And Mayan was also the author of Aindiram or Pranava Veda. We have seen all of this about Mayan. And in Ramayana, it says, after King Ravana married Mandodari, Mayan went into the earth. Where did he go? Second point. Actually, if you take the globe and if you pierce a needle into where Sri Lanka is, that is where Ravana got married to Mandodari, right? If you pierce a hole, where it comes back on the other side, it is Colombia. So Sri Lanka and Colombia are antipodes. So we don't know if Mayan went through the earth or if he went around. But the people there, they have a lot of similarities to Mayan. Like the culture there in the people in Central America and the culture in the Hindus in South India is very similar. Like both of them, they worship the sun god. They worship nature. They have a god of death, like we have Yama, who both of us don't fear, but we revere, we worship. Both of us are vegetarians. We promote only vegetarianism. And just like we have Ayurveda, they have the Mayan medicine, which is with plants and herbs. And we have in our temples, just outside the sanctum sanctorium, we have two Dwarapalakas or gatekeepers. The same way the Mayans in their temples also had gatekeepers. They were mostly half human and half Nagas. And then there's a lot of similarity between our food. Like even today in Mexico, there's a dish called tamale. Tamale is actually food which is wrapped inside corn husk, and it is steamed. We have something similar called as ilayadai. And I actually read for the first time that in ancient Tamil, tamal means a leaf. I didn't know that. And in Mexico, there's cocodas, which is our tengai barfi, and they have something called arroz, which is something like our pal payasam. And then astronomy. They believe in astronomy, and they believe the movement of all the celestial bodies affects our life in Earth. These are the similarities between the Hindus in South India and the Mayans. In fact, there is a book called Ayar Incas. The author of that is an ex-US senator by name Miles Poindexter. Miles Poindexter. He was serving as the United States ambassador in Peru from the year 1923 to 1928. And he did a very deep research on the locals there, their food habits, their monuments, their temples, their culture, their dress, their beliefs, and all this. And he very strongly argues that the ancestry, the locals there, their ancestors must have come from the southern part of India. The book is called Ayar Incas. I think it was published in 1930. So these are the similarities which we see between the Mayans there in Central America and the Mayan culture here, or the South Indians here, the Hindus in South India. And when you ask those people, they say their ancestors came from Ceylon. Ceylon is actually Ceylon, which is the ancient name for Sri Lanka. See, Sri Lanka was divided into three parts, ancient Ceylon. into three parts. The northern part was known as Pihiti, the southern part as Ruhuna, and the central part was known as Maya. And there was a cult religion there which was known as Mayon. The people were known as the Mayons. They were very skilled in their astronomy, archaeology, math, pottery, jewelry, all these things. And it's believed by researchers they were the ones who traveled all the way to Central America. Okay, this is the similarities between both. And the third point, we have to see a little bit more about these Mayans. Okay, the third point. Mayans were very skilled in architecture. I mean, their degree of precision was unbelievable for that period of time. Mayan civilization was believed to have started around 2500 before Common Era, and they were at their peak from 200 to 850 Common Era. Now there, we don't think there was any technology then, right? But they had built their pyramids and temples with such precision. They used basalt. Basalt is almost as hard as granite. So what technology could they have had to cut basalt to that precision and place it there to build the pyramids? So researchers argue that they should have had help from extraterrestrial beings. They could not have just done it by themselves. However skilled they are, unless they got help from aliens, they could not have built that. They very strongly believe that. And the Mayans could predict astrological events very accurately, unless a person has a very good understanding of the working of the universe. They cannot make such perfect, they cannot predict anything so perfectly. So they should have had a higher power give them all this knowledge. Now coming back to our note in the first point, Surya Siddhanta was given by the sun god to Mayan. And then Pranava Veda was authored by Mayan, which talks about the beginning of the universe, how the universe was actually formed from the very beginning. Unless a person knows the complete working or functioning of the universe and every detail about it, he cannot give Pranava Veda, right? So researchers say he was given the secret of the cosmos, the knowledge of the working of the universe, secret of the cosmos. The aliens gave it to Mayan. So they actually have a connection with with aliens, with extraterrestrial beings, with a higher power. That was the third point. Now, who actually was Mayan? I mean, we do know about from Mahabharata, Ramayana and all this. But more than that, who could he have been? Who was Mayan? That will come to the fourth point. Before that, I have to tell you, the people of Central America, right? The people there now, they have their stories about the origin of their culture, you know, all those things. And they say their founder or their forefather was called Ishbalanka. Ishbalanka means Shiva of Lanka. Does that mean Mayan was Lord Shiva? We'll see that in the next point, fourth point. Even today, Mayan is worshipped as a supreme teacher by many enlightened people. The American University of Mayanic Sciences, it says that in all of the Shiva temples, from ancient Shiva temples to Shiva temples today, Mayan is idolized there in every temple and some ancient Vishnu temples also. He is there seated under a banyan tree. That's how he's idolized. We've seen Alamarathin Kire Arul Mayan Amarndadale. Mayan is Gurumurti, the supreme teacher, and since Mayan was from Lemuria, Kumari Kandam, which is in the south, he's always facing the south direction, which is Dakshina. South is Dakshina. So the Dakshina Murti idol, which we see in every Shiva temple, is actually Mayan. That is what the university says. See, Lord Shiva has many forms, right? He has Rudra, he has Nataraja, Linga, Bhairava, so many forms, right? And just like that, Dakshinamurti is a form of Shiva, and that Dakshinamurti is actually Mayan. That is what they claim, that is what they say, which could very well be true. Okay, now the last point, what happened to Mayan? I mean, he's been there thousands of years in Ramayana, in Mahabharata, in Manimekalai, so many things. Now, what happened to him? What happened to him and his people? We'll see that in the last point. The Mayans actually vanished one day. They left their cities, abandoned their cities, and they just left. There was no war, there was no drought, there was nothing. They just left their cities, everything is intact. Where did they go? Now, Tikal is one of the cities of the Mayans, which was, I think it was the largest city and the most popular one. In Tikal, there were 7 temples or 7 pyramids, and they were placed in a geometric fashion exactly the same way as the 7 stars in the Pleiades constellation. Not just in Tikal, but in other Mayan cities also, there were these 7 stars, there were these pyramids placed in the same geometric fashion as the 7 stars in the Pleiades constellation. There is some connection. If you take the temples, the Mayan temples also, researchers have found that there are specific certain spots, you can call it sacred spots or portals, where the Mayans used to sit there and communicate with the aliens. They say there is a lot of proof of alien visitations also. And if you ask the people in Central America now, I believe they say, when you say what happened to your ancestors, they simply say they went back home. They went back home. So researchers say Mayan was actually an alien who came from Pleiades and who's just gone back there. He's taken his people with him. That's what researchers say. He was an alien. This is what we wanted to present to you. I know there are many things here. Mayan was he a time traveler because he's been there from Ramayana period? Was he an alien? Is he Lord Shiva? He's someone higher power, right? So even today, researchers are still debating about Mayan. He's a very interesting character. And as you research more and more, you find so many things about Mayan. Some are contradicting, some are just unbelievable, but he's very interesting. And I would very much tell you guys, if you're interested, please do your homework on Mayan. I'm sure you will come across things that we have not come across and we've not been able to present here in this session. If you do, whatever you find out, please share with us, and like you always do, email us also. I hope you found this session interesting. This is what we wanted to give you about Mayan. Until next, you take care. Bye.